not heard, the next installment to the Borderlands franchise. People who believe that video games is a waste of time.
Yo, what up, boy gamers out there? The name's Second Heat, and I'm sorry that I didn't bring you guys second stop through the week yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even look up some gaming news, but what I'm here to do today is actually give you guys a commentary of a gaming news that I actually just recently heard about from Boogie2988. For those guys that do not know, Boogie2988 is actually a very popular YouTuber that some people would even like to call the voice of the gamers. He actually gets like a lot of attention from popular gaming companies. He's even gotten the president or the CEO from Microsoft, who do Xbox One, and Sony, who do PlayStation 4, to actually come to him. Although Sony has invited him to their place, while people with Microsoft actually went to him. So you can tell that he gets like a lot of hookups, that people really do pay attention to him. So that's why people call him the voice of the gamers. Anyways, what I want to say is that he actually made a slight talk about how Destiny is getting, well, the people over at PlayStation are actually getting a yearly timed exclusive for their DLC. And for those guys that do not know, every now and then you'll see Sony or Microsoft actually get these timed exclusive DLCs, which is basically they get their DLC a bit earlier than the other console gamers. So like Call of Duty, everybody basically knows that Xbox users get their DLCs a month earlier than PlayStation. This is what a timed exclusive is. And I'm not gonna lie, this actually got a lot of people upset over at PlayStation. A lot of people at PlayStation were always, well, they felt like it was unfair to the fact that they didn't get their DLCs the same time as Microsoft. They felt that this was very unfair. This felt like, we already paid for the game. Why should we have to wait to get more stuff from the game later than other people? And it's just one big mess. But honestly, this doesn't even compare to what's happening now, because Destiny is really one of the most hyped up games for 2014, and due to the fact that this game is actually gonna have a timed exclusive of a year gap, that is pretty insane. Because due to the fact that this is going to be one of the most hyped up games, this means that many players over at PlayStation and Xbox are going to be getting this game. Okay, that means this is most likely going to be the #1 played game of 2014, and maybe even 2015 if it remains to be that hyped up. So with all these players playing, there's a likely chance that within, say, maybe 6 to 8 months or so, the hypeness is gonna go down. The game's gonna feel a lot more repetitive, because normally when you have a hyped up game, you want to play it as much as you can. So that means you're gonna most likely tire yourself out of this game, and then that means you're gonna be wanting more from this game, which is why they normally release out DLC. Now, a lot of times they do not release DLC day one. Okay, they're normally gonna release DLC within like half a year or so. I don't know. I'm normally thinking about Call of Duty and stuff. That's normally how they do their stuff. They'll normally release it like within half a year of its release. So basically, that's kind of when they assume that the game is starting to lose its its favoritism. That's when people normally start wanting to play other games. That's when people are looking for like something new, and that's when they started putting out the DLC just so they could come back. PlayStation will have the opportunity of getting the DLC within like that 6 month or however frequent they're going to be releasing DLC. However, the people at Microsoft aren't. They're like, the game's already going to be dull like after the 8 months or so. So they're just going to be looking like, okay, we need something new. I'm sick and tired of playing the same thing for so long. Can you please give us something we actually want? And all of a sudden they're going to hear about this DLC, like finally we get something new. But then they're going to find out in all the trailers, you know, Sony's going to get this first. Xbox is going to have to wait another year for this. And this is going to really piss off the people over at Xbox, because it's like, really? Why do we have to wait a whole year? Like, okay, maybe a month or two. Actually, 2 months sounds kind of a stretch, but a month we can do it. You know, we did that over on Call of Duty. You know, we had Sony wait, we had PlayStation wait a month. So I guess us waiting a month, you know, I guess that kind of makes us somewhat even. But a year? Like, when I first heard about this, I typed in the comment like, wow, a year, that's actually pretty insane. That's too long. And some people were saying like, oh, this is a 10-year game, you know, a year doesn't mean anything. And like, a year, you shouldn't really complain about that. A year, it doesn't mean too much. I don't think people know how the gaming community works. Whenever you have a hyped up game, we're gonna play that to our heart's content, which means we are going to bore us out of this game by playing this game way too much, and that will normally happen within half of a year or so, like I've already said. This means we want DLC. We want something new in the game to make us want to play even more. We buy the DLC and we're having a lot more fun. When you have to wait a whole nother year after the DLC is released just to get it, you kind of don't even want to play the game anymore. Like, within a year, so many games, hundreds of games would already be out. Some of those games are going to be very hyped up. Some of those games you're going to really want to get, and you're going to stop playing Destiny just for that game. This is why I think that the move that was done by Sony, and I'm not sure if it's either Bungie or Microsoft who they made the deal with, but this means that the deal that they made is actually kind of a dumb one, because I guess the people over at the PlayStation Nation can kind of enjoy the fact that they get their DLC first, but in all honesty, the people over at Activision or Bungie is actually making a bad decision, because that means they're not really going to get as much money as they hope for DLC content, because of the fact that many people will not actually buy their DLC because they're already going to be bored of the game so much that they're going to be playing some other games that will come out throughout the year span that they have to wait. So please let me know how you guys feel about what Bungie or Activision are doing with this. Do you think that this was a smart decision, or do you think this was a very bad decision? Because in my honest opinion, this was a terrible decision made. And I'm a PlayStation person, so I'm getting this benefit, but I feel bad for all those Microsoft players, because they're not going to get this to a year, and they're not even going to want it a year later, because they're most likely going to forget about the game already within that time. So once again, please let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below. Until next time, this has been your boy taking heat, and I'm out. Peace.